Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from Argentina with guest host Priscilla Jimenez, the Wannabe Sommelier.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're so excited. It's another week, it's another episode, it's another red wine, and we've escaped the other side of the globe, and we are back in our hemisphere, traveling down South America, and this time with a guest.
Yay!
It's like, how did we get here?
You almost lost me, but you brought it home. Keep going. I love it.
I like to imagine that you were imagining a globe in your head and like trying to bounce around.
Honestly, I 100% was. It was like the Indiana Jones, like the line as he's flying,
line.
and it's like zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, I had no idea.
Well, I almost said we escaped Europe, and then I remembered that last week we were in Australia, New Zealand. So like,
That's not Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to like quickly course correct. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest on our show. Priscilla, welcome to the pod. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm looking forward to display something from South America,
yes,
which is where I'm from.
Hey,
I'm not from
nice.
Mendoza, Argentina, but I am from Ecuador, so not too far. Still South America, so I'm looking forward to review this wine with you all.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. We're so excited to have you. And like, honestly, I was kind of thinking back, like we've been following each other's accounts for so long, like almost since we started. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm always popping over to your account and like stealing your content ideas because you have so many cool, it's behind, pulling back the curtain. Like no, you do so many fun, like cool little quick videos. And I'm like, oh, that was smart. Oh, that was good. That was a good one. That was a good one.
It is actually just me, guys, honestly. I love having fun, especially with wine. I think wine needs to be more approachable in that sense. And, you know, when you're sitting down here at my house with some friends, you know, and you're talking about wine, you're talking about the knowledge, whether you have it or not, it's fun to talk about wine. It's fun to review something that you're just getting to know. So I'm really happy with the way that things have turned out for me on Instagram.
It's been fun watching your community grow, and it's funny because like that's exactly what we do, Priscilla. Like that's the thing we've always said is we want to help make wine more approachable, make it more fun, take away some of the pomp and circumstance that people sometimes associate it with, you know, with wine, and just focus on the fun and enjoying it with your friends. So, love that we have a similar vision for that.
So we're so happy to have you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, how did you get into this? Like, where did the Wannabe Sommelier come from?
Actually, the Wannabe Sommelier started in the same table that I'm sitting today. My home had a few girlfriends over. We had plenty, or maybe too much, if there's a thing. There's ample too much wine, but
perfect
we did have
amount.
Wine, okay. And I was talking about the wines that I was letting them try from my collection, and they were all like, you know what, why don't you do this? And I'm like, do what? They're like, why don't you go and talk about your wines that you're drinking? I mean, like on Instagram. I'm like, there's no way. And then one of them said, well, you always wanted to be a sommelier, right? And I'm like, yeah, you know what, I always wanted to be one. Maybe one day when my career will take me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And one of them said, why don't you look it up on Instagram? And of course, we have had enough wine already at that point. I'm like, you know what? It is available. I'm just going to put my Yahoo email and just start it. And that's how I started. So the next morning, I'm like, wait, did I just do something that I don't know what happened? I put a random video of a bottle that I have opened before, and a lot of questions start coming in, and I got excited, and I'm very excited to share, honestly. Every single bottle, the base of my account is that every single bottle that I present is a bottle that I'm opening, whether it's at a restaurant, at a friend's house, at my home, with you guys tonight. It's something that I have tasted. So I wanted to focus on that organic content, on that real, you know what, if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. And that's okay too. You know what I mean? Totally. Like, it's the bottle. I don't just go to the liquor store or the wine store and, pose with the bottle as I'm walking down the store, right? It's more like I'm opening, I'm experiencing, whether it's at a restaurant, anywhere. So that's kind of how the base of the account is, and that's how I started. Of course, it took me a little bit to get comfortable talking on camera because obviously English is second language.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, sure.
So it actually has given me the opportunity to practice a lot more English and the fluidity of the language and how I, project myself when I speak a different language. So it has helped me personally as well, and I'm very happy for that.
That's very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like every good story starts with a nice bottle of wine.
Never with a salad.
That's right.
Water.
How did you get into wine in the first place? Was there like a specific experience you had, or just
I've
always
had
been a thing you've enjoyed?
It has been a passion of mine for a long, long time. And I'm self-taught. I am not a sommelier, obviously, because my name says it. The Wannabe Sommelier. But I do have I feel like I have a lot of experience, and I think like there's no bad bottle unless you have tried it. So I open bottles, I open different regions, I open different, whether it's a $10 bottle of wine at Costco or Trader Joe's, or a really nice bottle of wines that I post that you see my page. Like I feel like every bottle should be tasted and every bottle should be appreciated for what they are, whether it's something that one person like and the other one doesn't. So it's all by experience, honestly. So I don't have any wine certifications. I am looking in the near future, to start studying, of course, for it.
Well, and I are right there with you. Any day now, we're gonna do something.
I was just gonna say, I think I made a New Year's resolution to do that, and I have made zero progress.
Yeah.
So this is a good
But
reminder.
I think it's so passionate and it shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think that's primarily. I don't need to teach somebody how to open a bottle of wine. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I am no way, shape, or form to teach how to. Actually, tonight, as a matter of fact, I opened this bottle and I went on the in here, like went all the way far, and I went like this, and I almost spoke my nose. Okay?
Oh, no.
No. Oh, no.
I'm
no.
I'm in no capacity to teach anybody this, okay? But it is
Just play it off. Be
fun.
like, that's part of it. That's traditionally
It's
how
experience.
yeah.
Experience. You may have a scratch here, but about the experience at the end of the day. And then if you drink enough wine, you don't remember, so it doesn't matter.
100%. Yeah.
It's like I don't know where this cut came from, but there's an empty bottle of wine over here, so it has to be related.
No.
It was a good
I
night.
mean, it might have happened last night, it happened 2 nights ago, I don't remember.
And the best way to learn about wine is just drink it. I mean, you can study it all you want,
Totally.
but if you're not out there trying it and tasting and experiencing different regions, then what's the point?
100%.
So
One of the sommeliers, actually, I won't say their name, reached out to me at one point, maybe about a few months back, actually, and said to me, you know what? I have never in my career, and he's been a sommelier for many years, for what I've known, right? I have never tasted the bottles in as many wines as you have. And it really shows the passion. It was a nice compliment because it's like, we always bottles of wine day in and day out at night, but do you really taste them? Do you really know if you like them or not? It doesn't matter if it's a $500 bottle of wine. You may not like that grape and you may not like it.
You're on the right show for that, 100%. Because
Try them all.
yeah,
That's right.
I mean, that's our whole
That's
thing. We've talked about, of course, there are great bottles of wine that are going to be expensive, of course. But there's so many good bottles of wine that are in the $15, $20, $25, $30 range, and you can't just write off every bottle of wine under $20 as cheap or bad. And the only way, to your point, the only way you're going to know what you like and what is quality and what is good for you is if you try different wines.
100%.
And
That's
the
the only
flip
way.
side of that too is if you do, I would say, want to start getting into maybe some more rare, some more expensive wines without having a basis in your own kind of understanding and your own profile of what you like, what you enjoy, and being able to pick out the experiences, it's going to be a waste. So, I do feel like I love the idea of just open everything, try everything, build it up, and let that kind of just like form over time the way that you experience wine.
Yeah, I mean, before Colin tricked us into being in the show with him, like, if I had gone to a store and someone asked me, like, if I knew if I was going to like a Malbec, a Cab Franc, or a Merlot, or a Pinot Noir, I'd be like, they're all red. I don't know. Like, give me red wine, and I imagine if it's expensive,
You've come so
good,
far.
right?
So
And
far.
now I know, like, maybe like
Look at that. That ain't common and that you come so far.
You have.
I'm
He
I'm
knows.
very happy, and
He
without
does.
ever taking a class, I at least think I would do pretty good in the WSET 1 test if I ever took it because I got the
Oh,
basics.
you would crush it. You would
Thanks,
crush
thanks,
the
buddy.
first level.
Thanks,
Probably,
buddy.
but I think
no
I
doubt.
still do a good job. I mean, I've been told that,
Totally.
but it still hasn't happened. It will happen. And then, like, some of my friends have said to me, "Well, what if you do become a sommelier, Priscilla?" Right? And I'm like, that would be super cool, right? They're like, "But what's gonna happen to your Instagram? You're not gonna be like the
Yeah.
wannabe. Now you are the sommelier. You'll kill your brand."
It's
And I'm
like
like,
the
brand.
starting to
Brand?
be sommelier,
Yeah. You should
Oh my
lock
God.
down every other like sequence, like the almost sommelier, the finally sommelier. Like, get them all now.
Absolutely.
Definitely, because they're thinking, I mean, they're businesswomen, right? And they're thinking about, how about your brand? I'm like, I don't have a brand, first of all. This is
I
just
think
my
you do.
Yeah.
I think
Totally a
I think you have a
brand.
pretty
Totally.
good brand.
100%.
But
Well,
I was thinking it's not cool. Like even if you go through and you get all your certifications and you keep the wannabe sommelier, like that's such a good story. Like people being like, "Oh, you have your
Yeah.
WSET 3. Why are you the wannabe sommelier?" And you're like, "Well, that's where I started." And that's such a
Yeah.
cool kind of like transition.
passionate. It's a
Yeah.
passion of mine, and it shows, I think. And even when I'm hosting wine tastings here at home and my girlfriends are here, they're like, "Wow, can you do this for a living?" I'm like, "I already have a job."
Yeah.
Fun time. Okay. Talking about wine, it's fun for me. It's really, really fun.
For sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, we're so excited to have you. And so just as for a reminder for the folks at home and also to like make sure you're prepped for the fun review with us, we again in the idea of like wine is fun and wine is a community thing, we do not rank wines on the show using numbers. We don't like using the rubric. We don't like doing the, so and so says this is a 93-point wine because that doesn't mean anything to someone who doesn't know the
Yeah.
point system. So what we do is we talk about kind of the quality of the wine and kind of who we'd want to share it with. So obviously if we drink the wine and it's no good, it's a drain wine, it's a wine, just dump it down the drain. If it's, not that great, but it's not terrible, it's a backup wine. If it's a wine that you might like, maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, maybe it's not the best, but hey, you like it, it's a casual drinker, you keep it around your house. If it's a wine that is just really great, you love it, you want to bring it out, you want to show it to other people, it's a must-share wine. We think of those as the ones you want to bring to a party or bring to a restaurant. And if it's just absolutely incredible, it's your top-tier wine, that is your wine fridge wine. That's your special occasion wine, the one that you love the most. So, and we think that just helps people connect more. If we say it's a must-share versus a drain wine, that's a lot better than 40 points versus 90 points in our brain.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so excited to try this wine today. Joel, what are we drinking?
Okay, so Priscilla brought on or suggested for us today the El Enemigo. Is that okay, Priscilla? Did I say it okay?
Yes, fair.
Okay,
Yes, good.
very good.
We are
Thank you.
constantly asking our guests if we're pronouncing things correctly because we butcher every language equally.
I want to do everything justice. Thank you very much. So this is a 2021. It's a Cab Franc, but it is 90% Cab Franc, 10% Malbec in there. This is from Mendoza, Argentina, 13.5 ABV. And we picked this up for about $24.
Yeah, same here.
Nice.
Awesome. So I also, when I was picking this up, I saw it was a bunch of notes, like different people, James Suckling, some other folks, all kind of scored this around 93 points, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Priscilla, why did you pick this wine?
Can I show the bottle?
Oh yeah,
Please.
absolutely.
Because I think like a lot of the people that that either I follow, they follow me on Instagram. I feel like some people have like a visual memory, so I
Totally.
think that's
Yeah,
important too.
totally.
So this is the bottle. It's called El Enemigo, or the enemy.
Yes.
Oh.
It's very
Yeah,
deep.
that's right. Well, I picked this. I've had this many times. I think it's a grape that is likable in my experience through my friends when I'm having people over, by everyone. Okay. So it's more like if I was my own ratings, it will be closer to the 100% where I have never served this wine and people don't like it. Even people who do not drink red wines, which is
That
I
says
think
a
is an
lot.
important thing when I'm doing a wine tasting and I have to think about, hey, I drink very strong wines and very deep ruby and very dirt taste wines almost, but not everybody has that palate and not everybody likes that.
Yeah.
I think I picked this because it's something that I have noticed in my experience that is likable by everyone. I have a friend who does not drink red wine. I know she's watching, she knows who she is. And she's come to my house and says, you know what? Do you have that one? The one that we had last time? I'm like, yes, I do. I always have one.
That's
It's
huge.
a bottle that if I don't have a good white to offer or something white to offer, this is what I will open. So that's the main reason by likability of the grape itself is why I picked this wine.
Oh,
Awesome.
wonderful.
Awesome.
And also, and so after you picked this, I kind of went on their website, and they have a very cool website and a couple co-owners, and they have this quote that pops up as soon as you go on the website. And it's at the end of the journey, we remember only one battle, the one we fought against ourselves, the original enemy, the one that defined us.
Yeah.
So
And
Whoa.
you are your own
Ah,
think about it, because if you're trying to do something good in life, people going back into that, right? You're the only person that will stop it from doing. You're the person that, whether you procrastinate, whether you don't have the ability to do something or the incentive to do something, right? You're only going to stop yourself from doing. Don't be blaming anybody else. So I think like you are your own enemy in many circumstances in life. So it's a very nice quote. They do amazing wines. They do really good wines.
awesome. Yeah, just really cool. I love good wine, but I'm a sucker for good marketing. So like that quote in there and the title,
Well,
I'm like, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
especially like a good quote. You know what I mean? Like a good quote
Yeah.
that you want to like put up on the wall and be like, damn right. That's always good.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. Let's get our first shot at it, and then we'll we'll learn a little bit more, and then we'll give it our final review.
Tastes like wine.
One thing that I would recommend, if I may interrupt you for a second,
Oh,
Aaron,
please, anytime. Interrupt me all the time.
is that this wine, to make the best out of it, and this is again based on experience, needs to be open for at least an hour or so. It changes. Like I opened this bottle before we started our podcast, and I let it open, and then I served myself just a little bit, just to make sure the wine was good, right?
Yeah.
Because it could be
Never
a bad
know.
bottle.
Sure.
It was good, right? It was good. No, no corked wine or anything like that. And so I let it be. And then I tasted a little bit, and the tannins were really strong. Now I just served myself this glass a few minutes ago, and it's completely different. So it could benefit a lot from time, even decant, honestly.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
a
was
really good note.
my first note on the wine before anything.
Yeah, amazing.
Totally fair.
No, that's a really good point. It's a good thing to know, right? Because there's some wines you open right away and you can go for it, and there's some wines if you know ahead of time, like give it some time. You don't want to ruin the experience. Let's start off with what we get on the nose. Colin, what are you getting on the nose?
Yeah. So right up front, you can tell it's a Cab Franc. It has all those really Cab Franc-y notes that I love about Cab Franc. You get a lot of dark fruit, plum, I think is one thing you pick up right off the bat, a little bit of blackberry. And then you get that really nice, that floral note that comes through in Cab Franc that I just love so much. God, like it's such a nice, the bouquet of Cab Franc, I mean, especially this wine, it's absolutely beautiful.
Only thing I would add in there too is just I get a little bit of a dark cherry, a nice, very, very nice dark cherry up front. And
That's a
then
good call.
just I'm so glad that you called out the florality, because that was just one of the first things I noticed. And then you got to really, like, I think, go deep in there to get like a little bit of the earthy, like a little bit of the barnyard, but there is some of that in there.
Yeah, a little bit of that Cab Franc dirt, I like to
Yeah.
call it. You know, that Cab Franc has that that almost potting soil note, and this doesn't have a ton of that, which I think, like Priscilla, you said, to the likability of this wine. Not everybody likes that intense potting soil note, but this does have a little bit in there. I agree, Joel.
I don't have any other notes to add because you two took all the words. Priscilla, was there anything else you had?
I smell a little bit of oak, to be honest with you, but that's just my nose.
100%. No,
yeah,
I
definitely.
absolutely agree.
I think I don't know if it's just my nose or whatever, but I smelled a little bit of oak, and I believe some of I think it's Alejandro Vigil, the winemaker. Yes, it is Alejandro Vigil. I'm looking at actually the back of the bottle. It says it right here. I believe they do use some kind of oak to age their wines. So
It's very
it's
mild.
not super intense, but I think I have a
Yeah.
nose for it because I drink a lot of wines that are oak barrel base. So I think I may have that. You know how you have the Rolodex, which whomever is listening to this and they don't know what a roller is.
I was gonna
We
say,
all
like,
do.
we all know
Agree,
what
the
that
younger
means.
crowd.
My
That-
age, like I just literally disclose my age, which I have no problem. But I just say that
We're right there
you know
with you.
your memory bank, right? Like you have
Yep.
a memory bank when you smell, when you drink a lot of wine, and you get your nose memory into that. I smell a little bit of oak in here, which is lovely, which is it's so lovely. But the guys got it all on the nose. They got it right.
I love that you said that because that's the only way I operate with wine. These guys know I don't have a ton of experience with like tasting this food or tasting that food. I only
Yeah.
have the reference point of like this smell is a smell that we've targeted before. So yeah, I think that oak smell is really good. And also, I just want to point out it's not fake, right? I think that's one thing I'm really noticing. And one of the first things I think about when I try a new wine is like, is this mass produced? Does this feel like they were like soaking it in oak chips or doing whatever shortcut? And to Colin's point, like it's not hitting you over the head with oak. It seems very natural.
It has like a little hint to it, which is very lovely. It's very lovely.
Agreed.
Totally. All right, let's give it a taste. And Colin, I'll pop back to you. What are you getting?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much difference from the nose to the palate. I think pretty much what we got there comes across. I will say I think the oak comes a little bit more across on the palate than it did on the nose, and not in an overpowering way by any stretch of the imagination, but you can definitely tell there's some oak influence on the palate as opposed to the nose. It was more subtle and in the background, but it comes forward a little bit on the palate.
Joel?
I am just the experience I'm having here is just how nice everything is. It's like a extremely well balanced from a tannin acidity kind of perspective. Nothing sticks out in a jarring way. The only thing that sticks out is exactly how nicely balanced this is, if that makes any sense.
And as it opens, I feel like it's a completely different experience. Again, we're looking at a $25 wine, right? But it's properly made, in my opinion. It has the elegance is still of, the vanilla
Great
and the
word.
current, smells and taste. It also has a little elegant, like so lovely, like I like to put it like it's a lovely oaky smell and taste a lot. But it's well made. Overall, it's definitely a good buy. I mean, I buy it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I have a few bottles.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think with Joel, the structure point is what's really sticking out to me. I think, side note, I think I'm realizing in my own wine journey that like Cab Franc is, if not my favorite style of red wine, it is definitely up there as one of my favorite styles. And so this just has that balanced Cab Franc. I mean, Colin said the words Cab Franc like 16 times in one sentence earlier. It's just a really
Well, we are
good
drinking Cab Franc.
He's like, it's this very Cab Franc-y Cab Franc with a Cab Francness to it. But it is like, it's actually a really good example of a just solid, straightforward Cab Franc at a $23 to $25 price point.
You know what's one thing too that as I'm drinking it, I'm calling out. This may make no sense, and it probably won't. But yeah, I'm still going to say it. But when we were smelling it, we all called out, I think, all the same fruits, and I think we're tasting the same fruits. One thing I did want to note though is I feel like when I was smelling it, I thought it was going to be like an older kind of cherry, an older, more mature, kind of sweeter almost, version of these fruits that we're calling out. But as we're drinking it, it's fresh, it's young, it's that cherry is like a vibrant cherry. It's not a sweeter. It's not the one that's been sitting in the back of the cupboard for a little bit. It's to me it's drinking a little differently than I thought it would on the nose, but all the same fruits. Just an interesting observation. Maybe nobody else is having.
No, I don't disagree with that. I think the fruit is it's ripe. I don't think it's like tart per se. We see that sometimes.
Right.
But I think you're getting nice ripe fruit. It's not overripe. It's not candied or cooked or anything like that. But it's right on the money. I agree, Joel. Good point.
And I read something really cool about it. I've been trying to find this because I wanted to know. And I'm going to need y'all's help because I'm going to butcher a brand new word that somehow has not come across our plate so far in the show. So I was trying to find the aging for this. And so this type of wine, their Cab Franc is aged for 15 months in 100-year-old Foudre, Foudre. It is a large wooden vat. And so maybe that's why it's like a little bit more or a little bit softer of an oak because it's bigger.
Softer and milk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like super strong. It's like very like subtle, and
like
unless
that.
you have smelled that before in other wines and you have like
Yes.
your memory bank, right? You will
Mhm.
never probably pick up that. It's just so very minimal but very elegant still.
And
Yeah.
intentional,
Yeah.
right? Like elegant and intentional. Like it's they might if they could do it differently, and it might taste slightly different, but it's something very specific that they're going for, which I think is kind of cool. All right, well, we learned something new, and speaking of learning something new, we're gonna give this wine a little bit more time to air out. And Colin, you're gonna talk to us a little bit about what today?
Today we're going to talk about Cab Franc in Mendoza.
Cool.
Oh, how fitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you come up with that topic?
It's like you knew.
Just random.
Yeah. No, I'm really good at my research.
This is the only thing you will learn.
So I want to keep it brief today and just talk a little bit about Cab Franc, because really there's not a ton on Cab Franc in Mendoza because it's not the star there. You know, we've heard a ton and we hear a ton about Malbec, and Cab Franc is really just kind of nowadays having its renaissance. The grape was originally planted back in the 1990s as a blender. Almost nobody was making it in varietal form, which of course now has totally changed.
It sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, right? It is pretty wild to think. And that's only like, 30-year span that
Right.
it's really grown in popularity. And it does really well in the Mendoza climate. And Mendoza's at a little bit of altitude. And Cab Franc, they've learned, is really well suited for that. A lot of what you expect in Cabernet Franc from Mendoza, I think we've called out. You get a lot of those darker fruits. The floral note you see, we've seen it in here, but a lot of winemakers are using oak on these wines, which you see quite a bit with Bordeaux varieties. They hold up really well to wine because of their tannin structure. So you will see that. I think one thing we're not seeing as much, and maybe because of the rightness of the grapes when they were picked, you can also get some herbal quality in here, which, I think we said floral, but not as much herbal. And then you will also find some Cab Franc from Mendoza having a black pepper note in it as well. But it just really all depends upon the style, when the grapes were picked, what the winemaker was going for. These wines, again, because of their excellent structure, can be great at aging. You can lay a lot of these down, especially the ones with the bigger tannins. There's good acidity in these wines too. So definitely something to look for if you're interested in laying a couple of these down. They might be great in, 5, 8, 10 years. And that's my little spiel on Mendoza and Cab Franc.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Colin, so much for sharing that. And that's, again, it's so cool when we talked about this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago with Dr. Coleman, about how like there's this aspect of very old wine history, and then there's these aspects of wine history that are really not that old. It's like, and then Cab Franc came to Argentina like within the last 30 years or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's not that long ago. And also is having a massive impact on the current market. So I think that's a really neat. There's all this aspect of wine that's like everything has happened for 100 years, and that's just not the case.
I just love that, at least in this situation, this winemaker was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to make a really good Cab Franc in Mendoza, but it's still from Mendoza. It's still Argentinian. I'm putting 10% Malbec in there. Like, it has to be in there. This has to be an Argentinian thing, like
You have to, yeah.
we're a little nod to where we're actually doing this. I think that's so cool,
So that's one country that I've always wanted to go. Have you guys visited Argentina and Mendoza or no?
would love to.
I'd love to.
I actually have family in Buenos Aires. I have literally no excuse, but it seems like that family usually travels to other parts of the world. We all get together in different parts of the world rather than there. But I feel like if I go, I may not return. So it's like,
Totally.
it's like
Yeah.
50 chances.
I feel that, and I feel that a lot
Totally
more
fair, yeah.
every day. And that's, I mean, and we have an open invitation to go down, right? Because isn't that in Mendoza? Isn't that where Amanda Bandini's family is when she was on our show last year?
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a winemaker on the show last year, and that's where they're staying. So we got to get so many reasons to get down there. Fantastic.
So many reasons.
What are we doing here? Let's go.
Yeah, what are we doing? Let's just get out of here, all of us.
Come
you later.
on.
Let's do it.
All right. So I know it has been a huge amount of time since last time we tasted it, but let's give it one more sip, see if anything else has popped out in our brains, especially after learning a little bit more. Let's give it our final review, and then we'll play a quick game.
It's perfect. I think it's great.
I will say it has opened up, and And when I say open up, I think everything's just melded together. It's not that it was pokey or unpleasant before, but the sip has become a little bit more harmonious
A more
as the
rounded.
wine.
It's a more rounded
Absolutely.
wine as it reads, and that's what I said. Like it's in my experience with this wine right here in particular, this brand and this one because they make several ones. They make different ones, but this one in particular, I usually let it open for an hour or two, and it is a completely different wine.
And I'm really digging like there's like this full body aspect, and the tannins have really kind of chilled out to a very enjoyable level. And there was another word that popped up in my head that we didn't name before, but like there's this pepperiness where it's just kind of like, I don't know, my brain keeps going back between like pepper and coffee. Like there's this kind of like just one more piece in there that's just really nice that I'm really enjoying. All right. So Priscilla, you get to give the final verdict last because this is your wine and that's our tradition. So reminder, drain wine means this is garbage and it's going down the drain. Backup wine, not very good, but break glass in case of emergency if you need something to drink. Casual sipper, you'll keep it around the house. Must share, you bring it, to places and let your friends experience it with you. And then wine fridge. And the caveat, just so you know, Priscilla, is that you're only allowed 3 wines in your wine fridge. So all 3 of us have wines in our wine fridge already. So if we were to put it in our wine fridge, we would have to take
So you
something
have to
out.
take one out. Okay, got it.
It's a brutal world we've set
Very
up for
prestigious.
ourselves. But it's your first episode, so your wine fridge is empty.
Me
So if that's where
too.
you're gonna put it, that's where you're gonna put it.
Totally fair, yeah.
Joel, why don't you start us off? How you feeling about this wine?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
I'm feeling so good about this wine. This is a total must share. Super, super enjoyable. I mean, from first sip, I love, we talked about this too. Anytime that we can have the show go on and as we're drinking it, we're having different experiences and, it's changing as we go. So much fun. Just the fact that it is a Cab Franc from Mendoza is so cool. That alone, I think, is worthy of just sharing and highlighting that there's really good Cab Franc. There's more than Malbecs to explore from Mendoza, so go in there and explore. So total must share. Enjoying the heck out of this.
Absolutely, Colin.
Yeah, it's a fantastic wine. I agree. It's a total must share, and I think Priscilla nailed it. It's just so drinkable. Some Cab Franc can get a little funky. This is not that at all. This is just, it's easily shareable. Like, I want people to experience this because it's such a good bottle of wine. Like this would be a showstopper. You bring this to even a bunch of people that don't necessarily enjoy wine. I have no doubt they'd enjoy this because it's really nice fruit. That floral note can sometimes be off-putting, but it's so well integrated in this wine. There's not a ton of oak. It's just so well balanced. And it's a wine that every sip makes you want to take another sip because it's just so damn tasty. So, it's an absolute must share for me. I'm going to go buy another bottle or 6 because, again, I love Cab Franc, and this is hitting on all the notes for me right now. So, a true must share.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you guys. When Priscilla joked earlier that she always has like a number of these bottles just ready and available in her place, like my brain was like, yes, 100%, because this is the exact price range of the kind of bottles of wine that I want to have in my wine pantry, just ready to go in case I have folks over where I could pull this out, feel really good about it, show it to people, talk about Cab Franc, talk about Argentina wine, and have people experience a style of wine, but also know that I'm pulling out a $23 bottle of wine and I'm not like pouring something for people that might not fully appreciate it. Like this is the definition of a must share wine. Like this is, you can grab this,
definitely.
you can bring it to people, you can bring it out to a dinner, whatever you need, and you can do it without breaking the bank. I love that. Priscilla, what about you?
Definitely a must share. And you guys know I picked this one because of the likability that I have noticed in my experience when people who are, like you were saying, like not even drinking wine, they're not wine drinkers, right? But they really like this wine. I think it's well rounded. I think it's great. Price wise, it's great. I think it's an amazing must share. And I will put it as my soldier. You know what that is, right?
No, what is your soldier?
So, you're having people over at the house and you have a bottle of Chateau Angelus and a bottle of, couple bottles of Chateau Angelus and whatever other names, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're having a lot of wine and then you're grabbing the next bottle. Okay, so no, this is a soldier. So this one's go first.
I love it.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
It's the
Well
brown
done.
line. The brown line. Everybody likes it. And then
Uh-huh.
you realize who drinks wine and who doesn't drink wine before you open your big daddies, right? So
I love that.
Smart.
So smart. Oh my
it's a
goodness, you're blowing
soldier.
my
It's a
mind.
front line, right? Like in war, right? It's a
Yeah.
front line. Let's go out first. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
you're making it, okay? History
I love
says
that
so
so
that who ain't gonna make it. So everybody likes it, you know. So everybody enjoys it, and then you get the ones that are the people who are not wine drinkers to
Yep.
go out for their beer, you know, whatever.
Yep.
Oh God, that's so
But
smart.
would you
I
not
love that so much.
a bottle that is, you know, $200? You've been waiting for that steak because let's say you're having steak to drink, with the ones that don't drink wine.
Yeah.
And
You want to waste on them.
Brilliant.
Wine is definitely a must share because I buy it at my house because not everybody is into that big bowl French wine that you know I like, right? But this one is solid. 25
Yeah.
bucks, solid. It is complex, a little complex, but it's still very elegant on the palate. It has a long finish too, which is important to me, and that's a personal taste. Okay,
I
not
100%
dark
agree.
wine. It has a little bit of a lingering taste, which I like when I'm drinking wine. I don't want to drink something that it just disappears in 2 seconds. So it's definitely a great soldier.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I love that term, and I'm realizing like I have soldiers. Like the Eagle Gal Cote de Rhone is my soldier. Like I had people over on Saturday, and I poured out the Eagle Gal, and then people after that who were like, "Do you have any more like wine like that?" I was like, I'm gonna go to the slightly more expensive stuff now with these folks because they're on to glass too, and they're excited that, and everyone else who's not a wine person has moved on.
Correct.
To
They'll
the beer
move
and liquor.
on, they like it, they cheer, you know, it's a social drink, right? Wine is
Yes.
very social. But if they want whiskey, right, scotch, bourbon, right, they'll go for their actual drink that they like, right?
Yeah.
So, but wine is a very social drink. So you want to have your soldiers to go through the people that are not truly wine drinkers.
Awesome. All right, Priscilla, congratulations. You brought on a winner of a wine. We appreciate it.
job.
Amazing job. Like, I'm so glad this is definitely going in my lineup of wines to grab and to keep. Before we let you go, if it's okay with you, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
What?
this game is called Pick Your Poison. It's pretty much Would You Rather, just with a wine theme. And so here's the Pick Your Poison.
Pick your poison. Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
So pick your poison. Would you rather, and you don't have to go first, you can make one of them go first. Would you rather, if you had to choose between one or the other, receive a mini bottle of very, very nice champagne or a magnum bottle of decent sparkling wine?
Okay, so we're talking like cava or something like that, you know, and so maybe like
I guess
a
it's not like
clarifying
Corbel. It's not
questions.
like terror. It's not $11 wine. But like your choice is like you get a real big bottle of like like halfway
A
decent
split.
cava.
Or
Sure.
a split, which will be the mini bottle.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay. Yeah.
take,
Right.
I
The
take
split.
I'll take a mini. I take a split of real champagne. Any day.
You're gonna take the tiny bottle of real champagne.
Yeah. I take a
Is
split.
this for like? Are we talking for like, you know, a dessert, a cheers, or are we talking for like?
Oh, I don't
a
care.
day.
Either
way, it doesn't
for,
matter. Okay.
for
yeah.
your personal collection, you can open it whenever you want.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
I
take the
think
mini.
I'm with Priscilla. I'm going with the split. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, if,
I have tasted some really bad sparkling. Okay, so it's like,
yeah,
no,
there's
I'm not
not.
sure about
Yeah.
you know.
All right. Let me ask this: is there a size bottle of wine at which the joy of receiving that bottle of sparkling wine overcomes the like quality of the little champagne? Like, you know what I mean?
Over quantity any day for me.
Like, what if you had the opportunity to have like a
100%.
Methuselah or like a
Yeah,
what
I
was
was gonna say. I think the biggest one is at Nebuchadnezzar. I
Yeah, it's
think,
15 liters.
and Yeah,
My
I
God.
just want somebody to give me that so I could say that I've received one of those. Right?
You want to
Like,
take the
I don't
picture
know
and
what
send
I-
it back.
I don't know what I would do with that, but I want one.
I literally like this could be like a real thing in Instagram. Like, who's taller than Priscilla? That bar is probably taller than me.
That sounds like a great segment to start doing on the Wannabe Sommelier. Yeah.
Who can give me a bar that is taller than me?
That's awesome.
Number 11.
I just love. I'm looking at like the names of the bottles. I love the names. Like it's like Magnum and then Jeroboam, Methuselah, Salamanzar, Balthazar, and Nebuchadnezzar.
Can I tell
looking
you
at
something?
Those sizes. I think
I actually
once.
never knew that existed.
Yeah, they're huge. They're gigantic. I think you could give me like the most fancy, but if someone has the opportunity to give me a
in your research, can
Nebuchadnezzar,
you
I'll
Google
take it.
how tall is that bottle?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Why?
it 4'11"? Please tell me.
Come on.
And also, while you're looking this up, I want to tell you this because in your scenario, just so you know where my head was at, I was picturing like a really not good wine in the big bottle, and you kept making it bigger and bigger, thinking you were
It's just
making
more
it
and
more
more bad
enticing,
wine.
and it was getting more and more scary to
bad
me.
wine.
I was running to the little bottle of good champagne. I was
Yeah. It's cool until you open it and someone has to drink it. Okay, the biggest one, the Nebuchadnezzar, is 31 inches tall. So almost a yard.
is that?
That's
almost 3 feet.
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
almost
That's a big
that's,
bottle.
that's,
Yeah.
that's a big
Taller for once.
Just
a little bit.
But that's
just imagine rolling up to a party with that though. You look
That
awesome.
is
Who cares
cool.
what's in it?
Yeah.
just
You're just
over your
looking.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the
All right, so-
question was, what do you want to
We're all
roll up
gonna
to
have
a
a
party
headache
with?
tomorrow. It's like
That's
you
it.
walk in and
You don't have to drink it by
That's
yourself
fair
at
to say.
home, Joel. You just
Oh, okay. Okay.
right.
Well, that changes things.
So Colin, the Nebuchadnezzar would be worth the experience.
100%. Bring it on, baby.
it will be worth the experience. Yeah, just to see one. Like, I've never seen that. I've seen a
Yeah.
double Magna, and I think that's the most I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine
Yeah, same
popping
boat.
that cork.
Same boat.
Yeah, that
That'd be
was. I
wild.
mean, what was Dr. Coleman told us that a normal bottle of champagne has like the same psi as like a semi truck.
6 atmospheres.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
6
a
atmospheres. So you can only imagine like what's in like a Nebuchadnezzar bottle. It's like
I don't even know if they can
And
do
it-
that. Could they do that with sparkling wine? Maybe not. They might
Actually,
Yeah.
I
not be.
experienced
Champagne.
the same amount of pressure. I'm a Latina. My husband experiences this all the time. Same pressure.
Say-
Steady. Like steady.
Excellent. All right, that was a good one, Priscilla. Thank you.
Good
No,
job.
no.
No,
Thank you
that's awesome. I
so
love it.
much for joining us tonight. This was
Great.
so much fun. We loved having you. Come
Super
back
fun.
anytime. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to shout out? Remind the folks, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram as the Wannabe Sommelier, and I bring lots of fun to wine knowledge.
She
Awesome.
does. She has an awesome account.
yeah.
It's a
We
great
love
follow.
it.
Go out
And,
there, check it out.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining us and come back anytime. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, that was fantastic. Guys, that was
That was
such a
a
good
lot of
episode.
fun.
That was so much fun. That was
So
so
much
much
fun.
fun. That
She
was
was
so
so
much fun.
Wannabe sommelier, man.
The one
It
to be
was,
Check her out.
sommelier.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has such a cool channel too. Like, and
Oh my god.
the wines she drinks are next level cool too.
Yeah.
Cool
And a
wines,
big
cool
range.
channel, great
Huge
content,
range.
Yeah.
and that same vibe of just like have fun with wine. Wine is
Totally.
fun.
Yep.
Wine is social. Find the wines you like. You want to blow big money on wine? Cool, go do it. You want to find bottles you like
Totally.
that cost $20? Neat. Like there's
Yep.
good stuff for everyone. That was awesome.
And I love the
world
concept
wine
of the
is
soldier.
big. Oh, the soldier.
I'm so like that blew my mind. I love that so much. I'm
Yeah.
stealing that 100%.
100%.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. It's just a good strategy. It's like I'm going to bring out something that is a must share. It's
Yes.
not bad. It's a must share to put out first and then kind of gauge who are your wine drinkers because
Yeah.
people will politely drink a glass of wine
Mhm.
and then they'll
Mhm.
move on to the stuff they like. I'm not going to waste my $200 bottle of wine on people who are
gonna do
politely
it.
drinking it and not going to appreciate it. That's so good.
100%.
This is
I-
going to change like holiday wine bringing because I've become responsible for that now. And
Yep.
I stress about it because I'm like, well, I want to impress, but I also like don't want to waste this on people.
Look.
So that's going to
Yeah.
change that big time.
My
sure.
Ida Gugao, my Dom de Can Werner, my
Yeah.
Baronia, like that's that. Like it's look, these are $20 bottles of wine. It's a great soldier. And then if you want to move beyond that, I got the good stuff for you, the expensive
Yeah.
stuff in the background.
Yeah.
But you're not getting it
Totally.
unless you want round two.
I'm going to tell you something right now too. This bottle here, I don't always pretty much 86 one when we're talking and doing one of these things. This guy's nearly gone.
Yeah, I got pretty close too. I
Yeah.
got pretty close.
It's a
which
quick
that
drinker.
says
It's
something.
smooth. It's
That's
a quick
impressive.
drinker. It's a quick drinker.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah, that's a great one. I'll definitely be keeping this one on stock
For
for
sure.
sure.
And I'm looking forward to having Priscilla, the Wannabe Sommelier, back on here too. She was great.
Yeah,
100%.
great episode. Love to have her back. She had a lot of really cool ideas for future episodes. We won't spoil them now.
Definitely.
You'll just have to tune back in.
Much
Until
to
then,
come.
Colin,
Yes.
where can people interact with us? Where can people find us?
That's great. Great question, Aaron. I would go
So unexpected. That
so
question.
unexpected. I had no
I
idea.
look
Wasn't
for
prepared
who
this at all.
looks less prepared, and I pick them.
That's
wow.
fair.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I would go back to the big three. You got Instagram. Boom. Number one. Check us out. Stop wasting your wine. You got our website. Updated now.
Looks beautiful.
More updated than it was.
Roasted.
Stop wasting
You
your
got to
wine.
get our new wine fridge wines in there because we put in you got
Oh, yeah. That's right. We
our
do.
corponauts in there.
I will
Gotta update.
Take a
Updates
look at that.
pending.
Updates pending.
Updates.
That's right. And then check us out on YouTube. Go over there, smash that subscribe button, smash the
Smash that
subscribe
subscribe.
button, and check us out there. We all have all of our video content up there as well. I like to post some shorts now and then. So yeah, check us out there. Those are the big three. Come interact. Aaron does a great job over on Instagram. Drop us a line.
Awesome. Well done, Colin. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us once again. We will see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Remember, wherever you're listening to us, go ahead and give us a follow, give us a like. And also remember, stop wasting your wine.
Joel has grown so much. Joel has evolved into a beautiful butterfly
Thank
of
you.
social media.
The best. The best. Bye.
Goodbye.